All right, continuing on, Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth for a spoil, and none saith restore. Yeah, and the word restore means to store back. And when it says this is a people, what people is it speaking of? What people are in the most detrimental position in the society? And it's levels to the society. That's why Esau is known as the eagle, because he has elevation. All right, he sits at the top of the tower, and he has monetization. He can see you through all fields. He has clear vision. He has clarity. He has nocturnal vision. He can see you at night, and they make this place pitch black. To the point where you stumble, you fall, and the only way to see in this society, see everything clearly is you have to have the light and the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai. Not everybody possesses that light. That's why us as a people were robbed and spoiled, and we don't know how to retrieve and regain momentum in the society. We lost so much, and we've been beaten down and broken up as a people and thrown in all these different pits and booby traps, so to speak, caught in these snares and nets, that our people have no hope. They don't see uh, the kingdom. They don't see salvation. But us brothers in the faith, we're prisoners of hope, and we believe it. We believe in the kingdom of heaven. We believe everything that these words actually say, and we see them transpiring before our eyes, and we see results. It's not just off of blind faith. We see results when it comes to being a part of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shema Shah. When it comes to investing ourselves fully within the knowledge of the Lord, within the spirit of the Lord, and that's why Scripture speaks about how a man that pleases the Lord will basically flee wicked women. It tells you that in the book of Sirach, how a wicked woman is given unto the portion of an evil man, but a man whoso pleases the Lord shall escape from her. Escape from her what? Her snares, her nets, her entrapments. You know, that's why even in today's time, the English tongue is they use a lot of words to show how people actually trap you. Words have power, man. To enchant, somebody that's charming, captivating. If somebody's captivating, the word, the essence of the word is to captive, to hold one captive, or to capture, you know. And a lot of people don't capture you and nourish you. They bring you unto them, and they try to captivate you and charm you to lure you away. That's why back in the ancient world you would have the Maenads and you would have the Sirens, which were basically demons, evil spirits that would lead men to a particular direction, and what was appointed was their death. You also had succubuses, you had incubuses, and these same spirits roam around now. A lot of these women have invoked, that those ancient world demons, and that's why we have to be fully involved in the wisdom of knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shah, so we don't get caught out there, man. And like I said, you're gonna fall into some holes, you're gonna fall into ditches, because experience is your best teacher. First off, when you fall into them, you like, shit, I ain't gonna fall into that again. You know, that saying go, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. You know, and if you keep doing the same foolish things repetitiously, that's when you clinically should be diagnosed as insane, man. You should get a crazy check. Because you go through the same thing over and over, and you expect new results. You ain't gonna get new results, man. Your best option is just to work around that hole. You see the hole, get the hell away from it, man. It's not there for your betterment. That's not you know a loft, or I would say, it ain't like when you fall in a hole you have a pub. You have women there. You'll watch certain shows, or you'll watch something, somebody falls and it's a damn near a portal to a whole nother dimension. It's not like that when you fall in the hole. It's nothing but dirt, grime, rocks, insects, You know, it might be skeletons from individuals that fell into the hole before you. You know, so you want to fall, you want to climb out that hole at all costs, man. Like I said, and it says our people are hidden in these prisons, man. There's nothing deep. There's no bigger hole than the prison. The prison industry is humongous, especially in the United States, and they got to keep these prisons full, man. Prison industries uh, generate top dollar. It's a very lucrative practice, and they want to keep them full. Not what Edomites or white people or Chinese and Japanese and Arabs. They want to keep them full with you blacks, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you know, that come from North Central South America, you know, Africa, you know, and all over the world, because our people are scattered everywhere, man. And I'm gonna continue on because men, matter of fact, I'll read that one last, but men of the Lord, they understood the severity which comes behind falling into, you know, turmoil or falling into these deep dark situations, you know. And there's some men that, like I said, that fell in that they never got out. It's not like everybody that falls into a pit eventually gets out. Some men take a damn long time to get out. Some can get out that same, you know, minutes later. You know, finding the right technique and finding the right action to fall out. You know, the right way to approach. But you have some individuals that take you know, decades to come out the hole. Some people never get out. You know, so it's not nothing to play with, man. It's not something you should take light of, or you're nonchalant. Oh, it's just a little pit. I'll eventually get out. You know, I get out of those all the time. Nah, you know, you have to use extreme precaution. You know, when these different, you know, these different, you see these different things around you used to weaponize against you. And like I said, you could fall into that. You know, when you fall into a ditch, depending on the depth, you know, it could break your ankle, it could break your leg, it could break your arm. You know, just think about quicksand. You could die from that. You know, that's a form of a ditch. You know, you walking, you know, and you fall into a pit of a quicksand. And the more that you struggle and the more that you strain, you know, the quicker you sink and you drown. So I'm gonna read this in Psalms 30:3. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave, thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. All right. So David himself, he knew how intense and how, which the pit represents the grave, or represents death, you know, and that's the ultimate pit that we want to avoid. The scriptures speak about how, you know, it's some man that shall not taste death in these times, and we don't want to taste the sting of death. We want to actually, you know, be delivered in the first go round, but we have to put in work. We have to, you know, fight. We have to stay in the faith of Yahweh Shema Shai, and we have to grow, man. You know, and like I said, it's times where you see your brother in the pit. If you see a brother in the pit, you don't be a snobby asshole and be like, all right, you got yourself in the situation, you got to get yourself out. Nah, lend a helping hand. Some men are, you know, fall in the pit through just ignorance, but you have, the scripture says, him that is weak in the faith, receive ye not to any evil disputations, man, in the book of Romans. You know, because like I said, some men make childlike decisions, and we all have been children. We all have made foolish and stupid decisions that some of us are still paying the price for into this day. So when you see a brother in the pit, have mercy, man. Have mercy and pull him out. Yahweh Shai is gonna have mercy and pull us out of this ditch, pull us out of this hole, man. You know. So when you see a brother that's indicative, or that indicates that the spirit of Yahweh Shai is in you. You know, if you don't pull a man out of the pit, and that shows you just a grimy nigga. You're a two-bit, and you have that mentality that you know, you all out for self. You know, you're all about self, and that's extremely selfish, man. Now, Psalms 40:2, I'm going to read this one also, and Psalms 55 also. It says, He brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and establish my goings. And when he set your foot upon a rock, what does that represent? Stability. You know, And you want to be upon that rock. It tells you that in Colossians, rooted and built and grounded in the faith, so that you'll never be able have to fall into those pits again, and you could teach others where those pits lie. All right, bro, that's a ditch, man. That's a scam. That's a scam. Nah, that's not for your good. It sounds good because you got certain pits that they certain things that lure you in. That's why they're known as booby traps and they're bait. Whenever you set bear traps or you set mouse traps, in order to get a mouse to actually get clamped down from that trap, what do you have to do? You have to do something that's gonna you know that's you set cheese, or you set something that's gonna entice that rat to get close to that trap. And right when they try to grab that cheese, boom, that it clamps down on them. You see? So continuing on, it says, he brought me also out of the horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. All right, Psalms 55 and 23. But thou, O Most High, or power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half the days, but I will trust in thee. Right. So the same pit that the so-called white man has used for us to fall in, guess what? The tables are turning on them. All the things that he used for us to fall and to be destroyed as a people, it's being used to jack him up. And the irony of it, and that's the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, verse Psalms 57 and 6. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit before me, into the midst whereof they are fallen themselves. Selah. And that's the beautiful thing. Because like I said, who is them that dig these different pits? Who is them that set all these different entrapments and all these different pitfalls for us to deliberately fall in? The so-called white man. And we're going to put the blame on you. Because it's true. I watched this documentary, The 13th, with brothers, here in the Atlanta camp. And it was speaking about how the prison systems, which we already know, that's one of many. The drug industry, arms dealing, guns, black on black crime, all those are created by the so-called white man to actually deliberately kill blacks and Latinos. And you had representatives, whether there was in the senators or some type of position of authority, people that was previously in the FBI, and they'll be whistleblowers and they'll tell the full truth, man. On how the so-called white man, was by design to he was by design trying to kill blacks and Latinos, and it still goes on unto this day. So this is Luke, or I started is Matthew 15 and 14. Let them alone; they be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Right, and who's the leaders? The ones that you trust in. First and foremost, your pastors and your church leaders, and also the leaders of this world. And the so-called white man is also a leader of Jake. That's why Jake trusts in the shadow of Egypt. And it speaks about him that helping, and basically him that trusts in him, they're both going to be falling into the ditch. It says both shall be fallen when you read about it in Isaiah, how those that trust in Egypt. Because this place has nothing that's going to lift you up, but everything in this place is designed to bring you down. And that's why at the end of the day, you have to be very keen on what you put yourself into. Now, don't get me wrong, it is things that you can do to get leverage and gain wisdom and momentum, but for the most part, a lot of these things in this world are used to weaponize you, weaponized against you. So you have to use extreme wisdom and precaution when dealing in this society. All right, Luke 6 and 39. And he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind, and shall they not both fall into the ditch? And that's definitely true. If the blind is going to lead the blind and the ditch is right in front of them, the blind is going to fall in, and the man that's following is going to fall into the ditch. You have to have a man that's qualified to lead, a man that has the light, a man that actually is aware of his surroundings. There's a reason why you have generals and you have rankings in the military and you have positions, because you have certain men that have awareness and they understand layouts. They understand the ground. Then they'll You know, they understand where mines are located. They'll have reading dogs or mine sniffing dogs and things of that nature. You know, and they know the best action to take and where to take their troops. You know, in certain directions where they say, nah, that's not a wise place to go. It's gonna be a ambush right here, over here. You know, that's gonna take off half of our fleet. That might possibly destroy 1/3 of our men. So we're gonna take this route, or we might have to divide. We might have to cut the troops in half. You know, we might have to retreat because it's too many pits. It's too many booby traps. It's too many enemies that's out here. So we have to recalibrate and recalculate. You know, and you have to use that type of decision making when you're in this society because, like I said, this place is designed for you to be destroyed at the end of the day. You know, so this is just something I just have for Akim. Hopefully, brothers are edified. I'm going to end by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shem, Rakakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and Shalom, Akim.